We are going to dive in to the news today. Here's a look at some of the headlines making the world spin this week. And look, we don't want to keep saying his name, but it's hard to ignore that the New Hampshire Republican presidential primary held this past Tuesday was won by an insurrectionist, traitor, and sex offender still facing 4 criminal indictments. And it's clear that the path for Donald Trump becoming the Republican nominee in the general elections is as wide as the distance between him and Melania at a funeral. Trump defeated former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley with 54% of the vote. Haley took 9 delegates and 43% of the vote. Those looking for the same kind of false hope I have while telling people fast food tacos contain healthy, fresh ingredients will tell you that nearly 50% of the Republicans who turned out to vote did not choose Trump. And Haley took home the vote from those who consider themselves moderates by a 3-1 margin. And also, right before the primary, Ron DeSantis did what everyone thought he should do the moment he slipped his feet into a lift inside a cowboy boot, drop out of the race. And then the tough-talking Navy JAG, who had begun to take shots at Fox News for being too light on Trump, immediately bent the knee to the orange Lacey. Kiss the ring, Ronnie. Kiss the ring. This all might help Haley going forward, as she can perhaps pull in the voters who were happy with the idea of an animatronic human replica running this country or ruining it as he did Florida, if that's the way you choose to look at it. And man, look at us. Look at us. Suddenly rooting for a former South Carolina governor convinced that the Civil War was a minor skirmish over government overreach. But all of this is, as I said, a false hope. And you can tell by the quivering neck of Mitch McConnell that the truth is here for everyone to attempt to reckon with, barring a miracle from the God Trump definitely represents better than anyone else. It will be Trump versus Biden in November of this year, potentially making this the last year in our country's existence. Hell, he's already convincing Republicans to stop trying to solve the border crisis so he can blame it on Grandpa Joe, and he has vowed vengeance to the deep state, to his occult followers who believe the deep state has taken him down. Now, I know a lot of people aren't excited about the prospects of 2 guys born before the polio vaccine hit the market running for office, but this is where we're at. Face it, look deep into your soul. Replay the years from November of 2016 to, say, January 6, 2021, and ask yourself not just what you want out of this life, but what you want for the lives of those around you and those coming up behind all of us. Yep, one day the perfect political candidate will emerge. Someone with billions of TikTok followers who represents the impeccable intersectionality of every cause on every algorithm you believe in. But to completely misuse the words of Aragorn, today is not that day. We'll keep you updated after Las Vegas and Nevada, the next primary. I just assume Las Vegas is all of Nevada, and I know that's not true. And to remind us all about the importance of this election, unless you're one of those white male stand-up comedians that think, nothing will affect how you live, so why take it seriously? There is still a war going on in the Ukraine, or as Putin calls it, a long-form military operation, almost like it's long COVID. This week, a Russian 1176 transport plane, he said like someone who only knows military jets from G.I. Joe, carrying 65 Ukrainian prisoners of war, 9 Russians crashed in Russia's Belgorod region. I'm Ukrainian, and I kind of missaid that, but it's maybe because I hate the Russians. Killing all on board. Russia immediately accused the Ukrainian military of shooting it down and killing its own people. And well, that actually might have happened, which makes it sound like Putin's team is trying to create a YouTube thumbnail to increase rage clicking. Russia claims the 65 POWs were being flown in for a prisoner swap, which does happen in this war. But Ukraine also shoots down transport planes they feel are taking supplies to the front lines. And Kyiv claimed that in previous prisoner swaps, Russia alerts them and clears the airspace. And that this time the Russians just, said, oops, forgot to tell you, it slipped our mind. Though it's, now showing, I'm reading this teleprompter's driving me crazy. Though Russia is now saying, we sent the email, check your spam folder. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has called for an international investigation to discover the truth of the situation and accused Russia of playing with the lives of the Ukrainian people, with some intelligence reports claiming Russia was using the POWs as human shields while actually transporting supplies. And then, as I was about to copy and paste all of this into my script, putting the wrong sentence in my teleprompter, as you just saw, some reports are now saying it can't even be confirmed if anyone was on the plane other than the crew, and Russia might be lying at there even being POWs on board. And all the while, Russia is maintaining its innocence on this with that same sly smile and shifty energy they have anytime one of Putin's enemies suddenly gets poisoned and jumps out of the fourth-floor window they happen to be thrown through. We'll keep you updated on this, and all this serves as a reminder about the nature of disinformation in times of war and that pesky little problem that Ukraine is losing ground, running out of things like, bullets, and a Putin victory in Ukraine is still considered by many to be a stepping stone to further conquests and more likely to push us all toward the third installment of the Great War than any other conflicts happening right now. And I don't want to be a downer or too cynical toward the horrors of the Middle East going on right now, but when you sign into your news app at the end of the night, click on all the stories, if you can even find one about the war in Ukraine, and find one that isn't buried behind stories like the Oscar snubs. Please, I'm just asking. Maybe just consider it at the end of the night. All right, finally. Oh, crap. Sorry, look at that. And finally, the nominations for the 96th Annual Academy Awards were announced this week. And boy, howdy, they done messed it up again. This according to all your friends on social media with two working thumbs and a desire to yell at the world. And even the people with one thumb. Oppenheimer, the heartwarming tale of one man's dreams of changing the world, led the nominations list with 13 nods, and in keeping in line with director Christopher Nolan's wishes, no one nominated for that film will be able to sit down during the ceremony. Barbie, Oppenheimer's reluctant tag team partner in the pop culture world, took home 8 nominations, but it was the 2 it didn't get that had the world talking. And talking and talking. But before we get to that, let's highlight some of the nominations that were made and were there, like the fact that in what one can only assume was a clerical error by the Academy, a woman got nominated for directing. French director Justine Triet was nominated for her film Anatomy of a Fall, which is also the words the young children of Robert De Niro will use when he shuffles down the red carpet like the 80-year-old father that he is. De Niro was nominated as a supporting actor for his work in the gardening adventure Killers of the Flower Moon. And no, I haven't watched a movie in years. That movie star, Lily Gladstone, was nominated in the lead actress category. And while the world isn't perfect and change happens very, very, very slowly, it shouldn't be lost on anyone that a person of indigenous blood was nominated and will appear at an award show that only 50 years ago contained an audience of A-listers booing Native American activist Shasheen Littlefeather after she accepted Marlon Brando's Oscar in 1973 to help draw attention to the stereotyping of Native Americans in film. Only took 5 decades. Nikki Haley was right. But all right, yeah, as you probably heard, though Ryan Gosling and America Ferrera were nominated for their supporting roles in Barbie, which should be celebrated, and the film itself is up for Best Picture in what sounds like a pitch for the sequel to the movie Barbie 2, director Greta Gerwig and lead actor Margot Robbie were not nominated, though Robbie was nominated as a producer and would be able to take the stage if, Barbie were to pull off the upset and beat Saving Private Ryan, the nuke version. And yes, this does seem like a highway robbery, the likes of which we have not seen since Fast and the Furious 5. I, for one, though, will celebrate the nomination of Gosling and Ferrera and the fact that Barbie is a movie that changed lives and will continue to change lives for many years to come, with apologies to those forever changed by Barry Keoghan's penis and Saltburn. All right? There's more to have about this conversation, but that's the news, old and anything you want to chat about today.